So, guys, there's a lot of new controversy with this new equipment update coming out. And, I've been looking at a lot of different options on here. I do have a spreadsheet I'm trying to create and to kind of get everything put together. The one thing I have noticed is obviously the accessories are going to be great for getting leveled up, obviously, to tier 5 when it comes to, just heck, this is pretty much good for everybody, but mostly this is going to be great for Rally and Garrison, obviously, because of the tier 4 column. The rest of these fields can actually be, pretty universal, but obviously the accessories are showing to be all the way across the board, maybe minus the capacity, because that's really not going to have a huge, sway. But, that's kind of interchangeable in my opinion. You have the damage to Rally Garrison in this field, which is obviously good for a Garrison main, which is what I am. But then, if you're not a Garrison or a Rally Captain, you still have the capacity, which that could still help you in the open field. But for all these to have all this 8 points and this Divine Might is just great. The one thing I was looking at while trying to figure out how to put this video together, because I don't really have my spreadsheet completely done yet, and hopefully I can figure out the formulas to get everything to work right, because some of them are just not wanting to work how I want them to. Is I was sitting here looking at the equipment, right? And obviously, the chest piece is something we really want to get up to tier 5 for Garrison, or heck, just open field in that matter. But this is an amazing piece for Garrison because obviously the tier 4, right? So the chest piece is good for Garrison. The fourth piece is pretty good for Garrison. I went ahead and got mine up because I had the blueprints. Because basically, having a 10% chance to reduce the next skill attack, that's great for anybody. But the one thing I was noticing is that boots don't really have a use past the second one for a Garrison. They just don't have any use. Capacity is really not a huge deal because if you're garrisoning, you're relying on your whole kingdom, if not just your one alliance. Depends on how big your kingdom actually is, right? You don't really need march speed, and you don't need this. Now, a lot of people may point out you get 1% defense, but that's only while you're outside of Alliance territory. So for a Garrison, you don't really need to go past Iconic level 2 on this, right? Same thing for the gloves, is realistically after the second one, there's really no point in this because, you gain march speed. You're in a flag, or even if you're a rally lead, that might be okay, for a rally potentially, because if you get hit from what this says, you take damage. You could get some march speed, so your rally may get a little further. So this might have more of effect on a rally, but for a Garrison, which is what I'm talking about right now, this has no effect at all for a Garrison. This glove is completely useless after Iconic 2. The helmet, which isn't horrible, is the skill damage, but right now I'm working on Gorgo, if I can say her name correctly, because I always mispronounce her name. And where is she at? I got her somewhere. I do this every time. There she is. So my ideal setup for her would be with obviously this set right here. But, she's a smite commander, so it has a 10% chance to increase the next skill damage it deals by 6.5%. It's not really good on her. Other commanders, maybe if you put a Flavius in there or something else, potentially it would be okay. Or even with maybe Heraclius, something like that. But it's just not, not going to be good for the current, which has been considered the meta right now, which is Gorgo and Constantine. So, because I do not believe Constantine is this considered a skill? It is considered a skill. Okay. So at least it would hopefully help him out, but it's not going to do anything for Gorgo. It's still good to get, though, and I'm still going to probably get it up because I'm at least wanting to get it to level 2 because that extra health is huge. Obviously, like I said before, unit capacity, if you're in a flag, it's not going to help a whole ton because I think if you watch Chiscool, like he maxed out like a couple of pieces and had pretty high level with, on some of his pieces, and he only got like an extra almost like 2,000 troops. So now obviously that was only, I think he showed it in the canyon. So it's not really a huge deal, but it's like 4,000 extra troops in the field or so. If you just double it, make it like a regular march, maybe about 5,000 troops. Now I am VIP 18, so it may add a little bit more, but it's not going to be a huge difference. But for helmets, to me right now, what I'm looking at for Garrison is tier 2 for this. I still got to iconic this. Tier 2 for gloves. Tier 2 for boots, which I've already done this one. I need to get my horn and my ring gear to 5. I am actually debating about just doing the coin here, because obviously with Gorgo it's going to be really good, and I can actually refine it if I need to. I got 4 blueprints. I'm an older account, so we used to get the coins for KVKs a lot, so I had a bunch of them. But I don't know. I haven't decided if I want to do that just yet. But I still need to actually get this to Okay. Here's my thought on another thing I've been seeing a lot of. So obviously, a lot of people are like, if you're going to, iconic up your equipment, you need to have it refined. You need to have it crit. You need to have it this way, right? No, I'm sorry. No, I do not agree with that. Because let's just take a look at something here. If I was to forge this right here, right? Now that's 120. Now obviously to refine should be half of that, so it should be 60, right? So 60, right? Now if I wanted to awaken it, it is actually only, what is that? 10, 20, 35. 35. So that's about what, 55%, 60% of the materials a refine, which is great, so why not, right? But I truly think that if you're just trying to get the most value out of a piece of equipment after you get the first iconic, to me, honestly, personally, I think that you need to awaken your equipment, because you could waste. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've crafted, I think, like 40 something equipment pieces. I'm not even sure. Yeah, and the only crit one I have, now this is the only crit one I've gotten by crafting the first time, was these god dang gathering equipment here, which I think is still funny. It makes me mad. I'm not gonna lie, it does make me mad. But to get this gathering equipment here, so yeah, there's that, right? It sucks, but I mean, it is what it is. But here's something I was actually thinking about when I was looking through this equipment. So we know the gloves, all of them are nothing. Well, I'll say not all of them, but all of them are basically the same thing. They're just labeled different, right? Either reducing the march speed, or infantry, you're gaining march speed. So they're all basically the same, right? Except for the leadership gloves, which has unflinching. Now, this says whenever the wielder's troops takes damage, it has a 10% chance to reduce the attacker's attack by 2% for 3 seconds. It can stack up to 3 times. It doesn't show that there's any cooldown for it to activate, other than the chance to actually, have it to stack. So obviously, if you get a 2% and you get another chance, you get another 2%, you should, in essence, I believe, I may have to ask VIP support about this. There may be some kind of cooldown and it just hasn't been labeled here. But I would assume that once you get all the stacks, they should stay. So the way I'm looking at this, right, is obviously the best infantry pair right now is going to be the set parts, which is going to be, where are they at? No. Why can I not tell which ones they are? Jesus Christ. Here we go. Eternal Empire. So you get the 7.5%, and with the 2-piece, you get also the extra 3%. So you get that along with the gloves for them. And the gloves is 7.5, so that's 15% plus 3. That would be 18%. But here's my thoughts on it, okay? If we were to take the gloves here, which is 6%, right? And since we already broke the setup, we could use Shio's returns. And that's 8%. So that's 12. Wait, no. That's 11. Sorry. That's 11. Now, here's the thing. I could probably crit these. But the good thing about these is that you get them from gold keys. And you can also even get them from the scrolls occasionally. And I do believe also, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think they're in the Season of Conquest rewards as well for the Canyon. I can't remember. I know the Eternal Knights are in there, but I do believe that the Shio's Returns are in there, or there's another piece of equipment. I just can't remember which one it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hopefully one of y'all will. But here's the way I'm looking at it. Let me quit rambling because I can do that sometimes. Let me try to concise my thoughts here. So, get 18% stats total. Now, that's with the bonus from the Eternal Knight. Now, I'm talking about base. I'm not trying to talk about crit right now because my stuff's not crit. But, you know, I'm going to try to fix that. You got 7.5 and 7.5, so that's 15, and with that is 18% troop defense. Now, if you instead get the Shio's, which is already 8, correct? It's already 8. And then you take these, which is 6. That's 14. So that's a little bit less, obviously, than the boots, right? Hold on a second here. Let me just do something real quick because I'm getting my brain, I'm messing up my brain here. So, Shio's Return. I got these down too far. Apologize about this spreadsheet. Like I said, I'm trying to work on it here. So, let me just do the two different boots down here. So, we got the Empire boots. And we'll do the gloves. The Goddess gloves. There we go. 7 and 6. We got Shio's Return. Be 8. That should be 10.5, I believe. Like I said, this is me trying to get all the formulas to work here. Hold a second. Let me zoom in. I really need to learn how to edit. If y'all know any good editing software that's free, let me know. Because I definitely wouldn't mind trying to learn how to edit this and put this together and make this look a bit more professional. Alright, so Shio's Return, 8. So we'll say with Shio's... God dang. Shio's. And then we have the Goddess, right? That is 8 and 6. So those together is 14. But then if we have the Empire boots and Empire gloves, it's going to bug me if I don't have that right. That's 7.5, 7.5. And then you got the set, which is also 3. Add those together, you got 18. So right now, this would be a -4 for stats. So overall, this does have more defense total, right? This has got 14 defense, this has got 18 defense. Well, my train of thought right now, correct, is if you were to add in the fact that... I cannot seem to get... Why did I go to the other screen? Jesus Christ. The other unflinching effect here, whenever the Wilderness troop takes damage, has 10% chance to reduce the attacker's attack by 2% for 3 seconds. If this does stack up 3 times, and it stays stacked up 3 times during the rally, which I'm sure it would take at least probably 30 seconds to, heck, probably take up to a minute of being attacked for that to get fully stacked, correct? That would be an extra 6% of stats, but that's being negated and not gained. So if you've got more defense, but you're still taking their full attack, I mean, it's kind of to me, it's kind of almost like, I do think that actually maybe having these right here crit for infantry would be better. Because you're losing 4% of defense, but you're making them lose 6% of attack. So to me, you're almost gaining 2% of stats. Now that may be the wrong way to look at it, but when I'm trying to garrison, I'm trying to figure out what all can I do to benefit the garrison as much as possible without losing too much. Because I was thinking, well, maybe I could do sacred grips, right? Because, gives more stats. I got gloves of them. I could crit them. I already got them. But then again, these are not really needed to go past tier 2. Because, I don't need to do anything about march speed. That would make no sense to crit these to put on a garrison. The only gloves in here that would make sense would be the goddess gloves. And obviously I looked at these, but these are just nothing but, for march speed as well, so they're just whatever. And it's obviously siege stats. We don't want no damn siege stats. But with this right here, at least you're getting universal defense. So you're not getting as much, obviously. You're losing either 2%, from the sacred grips, or 1.5% if you're not getting the eternal night. But at least this right here would be universal. And I was debating about maybe even doing something with these, the glorious goddess, but I did, decide against it, because even though I would get some more troop defense back, it wouldn't be enough, really, in my opinion. I think that would be negating too many stats to try to itemize just for a different set. But I'm thinking, long story short here, that if we were to take these glorious goddess gloves, max them to 5, you'd actually have some gloves that can actually assist with a garrison versus having gloves that you should only do to tier 2. Because, like I said, there's no need for the gloves. Helmets would have a place with certain garrisons. Right now, with Gorgo being a smite commander, it wouldn't make any sense. I do think it's still worth, slowly leveling up the helmet to at least get the tier 2 iconic. And then obviously until, for me, being an infantry main, especially a garrison infantry main, it would still behoove me to get tier 2, and then after that work on critting this afterwards. So, that way, at least if that ever does come out, I will get the extra +1 to defense, and I think the health would be plus 1% extra or 0.5 with a crit? But that's my thoughts, guys. I don't really think that this new update was bad. Obviously, for brand new players, they're going to have only a fraction of time to do anything. But then again, if you're not a whale, you probably should just be filling flags and relying on the rallies, the people that actually do spend the money or have the tech and everything to do that. But, that's how I'm seeing this right now. If anybody's got any questions or want to throw your 2 cents in, please, do that. Especially if you're a garrison, I do like throwing these ideas around. But currently, right now, I do think that Shios with the goddess would probably be better, because once you calculate in the -6% attack, that's more of a buff to you, and that's making me do that crap. But anyway, I do think that doing that would be great, because I really do believe that having, I think you would actually end up, what I'm saying is you would end up gaining 2% stats. So you're technically losing the 4 defense, but you're making them lose 6% attack. And I think that actually probably would benefit a garrison more than just having the regular gloves, because you're losing it, but you're still gaining more out of it, I believe. So the helmet needs to be tier 2, the chest tier 5, the pants should be tier 5, obviously. Both the accessories should be tier 5. I do believe that 100%. Your weapon, you definitely need to get that to tier 5. And only reason you really want that up to tier 5 is just for the Furious Strike ability. The tier 3 and tier 4 is basically just a damn, stepping stone, but tier 2 works for the start. And like I said, if we do want to do the gloves, I do believe that the goddess gloves would be the best one to do it with. So, if anybody's got any suggestions or thoughts on it, please let me know. By the way, I did roll the treasure, because I've been saving my gems for this occasion. and I got absolutely slapped on this. Like, most of the blueprints I got were from these chests here. So I did not get many fragments for this thing at all. I got absolutely destroyed. I got a good amount of, materials, and if y'all want me to make videos on that, I could just, when I do get the gems to do certain events, I can sit here and open some stuff and things like that. But I guess, guys, I'll quit rambling here. Let me know if you got any questions or anything. Put them in the comments. I'll go ahead and step out for now. Catch y'all next time.